Zeldin, the director of the organization. And ArtBridge started almost, I guess it's 3 years ago now. Rodney lived in London Terrace Gardens, which was a building in Chelsea, and the building was shrouded in construction scaffolding for basically 3 years.
Yeah.
You should tell the story.
Well, the idea is that I would walk out of my building each day and see these blank what I call canvases, ubiquitous green or blue panels, and I just thought, okay, this is a great place for art. At first, my idea was to put my art on it because I'm an artist and a designer, and then it seemed a little too self-serving. So my idea really was to take the need for artists to have a way of expressing themselves and getting exposure with all this blank paneling, let's call it. I took those two ideas and put it together, and I went to the owners of London Terrace and I said, what do you think of this idea? And they said, if you can figure out how to do it, we'll give you a couple $1,000 and you can put it together. So that was my first, that was the kernel of the idea. So 3 years ago we did the first creation called First Exposure. We put out a call for artists. We got about 300 applications, 300 pieces. We had a jury. We narrowed it down to about 25. Actually, Jordana was one of the artists in the first show. And that's sort of the inception or the beginning of the idea.
Since then, we had another installation on London Terrace because the scaffolding schedule, I guess, was extended by a year. So we had another installation there. We just recently completed one in Dumbo as part of the Dumbo Arts Festival. It was our first one-artist installation called Chroma Tweet. That's going to be up, I think, almost for the next year, I'm hoping. And it's really very humbling and hard to believe for us that only 3 years later we've been able to bring 20 emerging artists to the largest construction site in Brooklyn, probably the second largest happening. Brooklyn-based artist, you had to be a Brooklyn-based artist, submit online, submit your work, and rather than addressing what was going on at the site itself, we found an interesting comparison, or I guess, kinship between the construction process and the art-making process. So what we were hoping to do is get artists through their work to be addressing the artistic process. So all the 20 artists selected here are in some way, through their work, talking about what it means to make art, how to really get from point A, the idea, to point B, when the idea is actually completed and put up. So all of these artists in various ways are talking about the artistic process. 20 were selected by a Brooklyn-based curatorial panel. We had Vic Muniz, who I think probably know, who's an internationally renowned photographer, very process-based artist. Which is one of the reasons we chose him. Alani Olu from the Humble Arts Foundation is a learning curator based in Brooklyn, and also Eugenie Tsai, who is a curator at the Brooklyn Museum. It was very important that we had Brooklyn-based curators and Brooklyn-based artists try as best we could to bring the artistic community down to a site where we know that Brooklyn artists have felt maybe not as part of things as they would have liked to. Joe Cabello is here. He is the Vice President of United Voice Against Scaffolding. He has been a major advocate of the work of ArtBridge. We met him down at the American Institute of Architects when they were unveiling their Urban Shed initiative, where teams of architects got together to discuss... to reimagine the actual material of the sidewalk shed. The engineering. We were so impressed that he was there. We started talking to him. The city isn't sure if they can handle, the expense of what it would mean to overhaul the shed in its entirety. So we feel that ArtBridge is kind of presenting a really nice interim solution by using what's already there, which is basically these plywood boards, and putting art on as a kind of surface solution to enliven the construction site.
And we chose generous help. We've been able to put up these installations.
He donated the labor,
and
the process has been 3 days, starting at 5 in the morning, with a team of really committed guys to making it look as best as they can. So I'd like to open the floor for questions and then announce the $1,000 winner. The curators picked out of the 200 submissions. One artist, they felt concept and execution truly top-notch and deserving this $1,000 prize. But first, I want to open the floor up for some questions.
What are the sizes of the artworks here?
Well, they start off more or less, I want to say, the normal size, meaning things from 3 to 2 foot. things that were created in people's studios, maybe a piece was 3 feet wide or 4 feet wide, but then we photographed them at high resolution. And as you see now, they're all about 8 feet, and then the length varies. So it's 8 feet high by maybe 30 or 40 or 50 feet long.
And all together?
It's about 425 feet.
And it's 2,500 linear feet. This is our largest installation to date. Typically we work on
Square feet.
Square feet. Yeah, typically we work on sidewalk bridges, which have a height of 4 feet high. This is the first time we've really been able to do these massive construction fences, which have enabled us to go up to 8 feet.
How long is it going to be up?
Probably till April or May.
March or April. Yep.
You got 200 applicants?
We had 200 submissions.
Right.
Yep.
You had to either live in Brooklyn or have your studio in Brooklyn in order to be considered.
Which is obviously a substantial number, though I actually was told that some people didn't apply because the controversial nature of this project.
Is that right?
Did you hear that from anybody?
Yeah, you know what? Here's the interesting thing, is that we're very, I mean, I live in Clifton Hills, we're very aware of the controversy. The fact is that this is being built and it exists, and the very mission of our organization is to go to construction sites, which nobody likes to see in their neighborhood, and try to enliven them. I can't say beautify because that's subjective, but certainly enliven them with art. This is kind of the mother lode of the kind of place that we like to go and bring art to. So regardless of how people feel about the installation itself, this blank canvas and the mission of our organization fit in really very beautifully.
Anything else, guys? Let me know when you want to know that winner. Okay.
Okay, so
I guess we can now.
I'll announce the winner. So we did something very different this time with the curatorial process. We didn't do scoring. We wanted the curatorial process itself to really kind of reflect the artistic process as best as we could. So we cut out miniatures of every single submission. Every curator was handed an envelope, and they actually laid out the installation as they imagined that it would be in front of them. So it was a very hands-on process. There was no, score of 50 or score of 70. And it was unanimously decided instantly that Greg Hayes, come on up, be the recipient of the $1,000 honorarium for work in progress. Congratulations. We're actually going to be giving you the check at the party tomorrow.
Yeah.
Can you show us which is this piece?
This piece is actually on Flatbush. It's kind of the largest
You'll
piece.
take us.
We'll take you over. Yeah. So if you have any questions for Greg, please go to town.
Go ahead. We can walk over there. Of course. The artist and the piece.
Make the piece for this specific construction is that there's a relationship between your poetic construction and this the building itself. That's
kind of the creation of the photograph, but it sort of coincided with what ArtBridge was doing with their work in process. This is a really good platform to bring my photographs to.
How do you feel like it relates to the theme of being in process? Like, what was your technique like, and how does that reflect the theme of works in progress?
Well, mainly photographs about sort of temporarily changing an object, and then while it's in that flux, that's when I snap the photograph. And for me, it relates to right now this is being temporarily changed. It will be something in the end, but right now it's sort of flux. So work.
How do you start? Like, what are you starting with?
The actual photographs are constructed from finding things that interest me. The ones that specifically are hanging right now are sort of the beginning of this idea. So I take little bits of collages, things I find interesting, and I construct them to, an 8x8 collage.
From magazines?
They're from magazines. They're little bits of scraps. They're, representational images. They're abstract images. And basically I rebuilt a fan motor, and I place my collages onto these fans, and what happens is with a temporary change to my collages, so that's when I snap the photograph. I like to think of it as sort of a temporal flux, but perhaps it's a little too Einstein. But as they're spinning, they're temporarily changed. This thing becomes, a new abstraction, or if it's a representational, photograph or whatnot, it becomes an abstraction. I take the photograph. It is now something in its own, and this collage, this object, returns back to its original state. So that's sort of a big deal. I'm not actually physically manipulating anything. It's all a visual perception. How the camera lens picks that up, how the viewer's eye picks that up.
Let's go see it, yeah.